This video is about love, and especially about the loss of love. And in it I give you some different ways of thinking about love and ways to deal with a feeling that you've lost love, whether it's a breakup of your relationship, a divorce, or wherever it is where you've lost someone, where you feel like you've lost their love, then this is the video for you. And I made this video a while back and I wasn't sure if I was gonna release it because the quality is not the best. It's just made on my phone, but I feel like I've really captured my raw, unfiltered thoughts about the subject of love, about the insights that I've had in the past couple of years that have helped me so much in the area of love and loving myself and dealing with a loss of love, that I really wanted to share this with the world. So yeah, I'm Julian from Amstermind and I hope you enjoy this video. I, for some reason, have been attracting a lot of people into my life who have been dealing with a loss of love. And I myself have dealt with a loss of love like a year ago or a year and a half ago. I basically found out by surprise that I was really in love with someone, and it was basically too late at that point of our relationship, if you want to call it that, for me to actually fix it and to actually show that I really loved her. And yeah, this is really hard for me. It was really hard, and I've grown so much because of it, and I'm so grateful that it happened then, that I'm really glad, that it happened. And there's a lot of people who hit me up on Facebook, on Instagram, and who tell me all these stories about their life and how they have lost love, that I feel like I really need to talk about this subject. So yeah, let me give my thoughts on this. So for me, when it happened to me, when I lost love, you can't basically really lose love, right? You can only lose a person maybe for some time or maybe for forever, but that person wasn't yours to begin with, so that's also something to remember. But maybe somebody loved you and you have lost that because they don't love you anymore, they don't express their love towards you anymore in that way, and yeah, that can make you feel unloved as a person. And maybe that's the problem, right? That you feel unloved and you lose someone which you cared about, but they gave you a good feeling and they gave you the feeling of love. So, what is love? What is love? It took me a while in my 31 years of being on this planet to actually grasp what love is. And love basically is unity. Love is unity. Love is actually, in a sense, the only truth there is. And that can sound very airy-fairy for some people, but if you've had any kind of experience of a psychedelic experience, or you've had a meditative experience where you reached a certain level of consciousness, then you've maybe grasped at least a little bit of this truth of love, of unity, of everything being connected, of everything being one. And that is the truest form of love. And basically that is the truest nature of what we are, as far as I can tell. And that's basically what you are. You're connected with everything. You are a part of everything. And in a sense, you are everything at the same time. And that is love. So you are already love. You can never lose love. You can maybe have the illusion that you are unloved because somebody went away that you cared about, but what that actually is that you made that person or that story about you being together your symbol for love, your symbol for feeling love. And that's the problem, because when that somebody goes away, or when that story is broken because of some reason, then your symbol to feel love has been destroyed. It's gone. And because you've made something outside of you, so something like that relationship or that story or that person, your symbol for love, that's why you think you've lost love. And the problem is that you've made something external that symbol. And why I talk so much about self-love is because it's so important that you can feel love for yourself, because then nobody can take that away from you. Because if you make yourself the symbol for love, then it can never be taken away from you. Then you'll always have that love. And that doesn't mean that you cannot have a romantic relationship with someone else. But it will always come from a much better place than when you only make that person the symbol for love. Because if you are always capable of feeling love from the inside for yourself and for life and for the world and for this experience, for being alive, for being conscious, for being aware, then you'll always have that. And from that place, you have abundance. You have an abundance of love, which means you have an abundance of love to give to the world. You have an abundance of love to give to a potential partner, to give in a relationship, to give to a family, to give to whoever you want. Because nobody can ever take away your love. You already made yourself the symbol for love. So every time you remind yourself, every time you conjure up that feeling, you'll have it. You'll have it right there. And it's not really simple, because I'm still struggling with this. Don't get me wrong. I'm far from perfect, and I'm not lecturing you on anything. I'm just sharing my thoughts and sharing my experiences of how I've been able to navigate through this life by using these things. But it's taking me a long time to actually see why loving yourself is so important. And so every time when I hear someone who is dealing with a loss of love, what I try to help them with is to let them see that every time you lose love, or every time you're rejected by someone, is that you are growing. You are growing as a person. Because you are learning, essentially, and you might not get it at first, but it will get you some step further in the process of learning to love yourself more. Because if somebody loved you and that ended, and you feel really, really bad, you might feel bad for a long time, but if you think about it, you are still there. You're still there. Life goes on. You haven't died. You're still here. You're still aware. And it gives you the chance to see that you are always with yourself. And you will, for at least for as long as you're alive, the person you are right now will always be there. And that is, you are your own lover. You are your own best friend. Your own company should be number one in your life. It should be number one. And it might sound maybe not so romantic, right? Because all the romantic stories are always about needing someone else. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe in needing someone else, because you are already the infinite source of love yourself. If you actually see that deep down in yourself, that you are already part of everything, you are everything. So you are pure unity, you are pure love. So you can never really need someone. You shouldn't strive for needing someone, because it's a losing game. Because if somebody goes away and everything ends, whether it's by death or whether it's by something else, it will end. It will end. During this lifetime, things will end, because that's the nature of this game that we're playing. Things are temporary, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful. But that's the nature of this game that we're in right now. And if you constantly rely on things that are temporary for your states of being, for your way of feeling love, then you're playing a losing game. So focus on the things that are always there, and from that place, give your love to people, and go in a relationship if that's what you want, and love that person like there's no tomorrow. But do it from a place of not needing the other person. Do it from a place of being complete from the inside yourself and wanting to share. And when you get love from someone else, of course, it feels good. But and that's a beautiful thing, to have love be reciprocated by someone. But don't rely on it. Don't make that the symbol for your love. Always start with making yourself the symbol for your love. And make that like an extra bonus if there is love that's reciprocated. And you can give your love and you can receive love, and that's beautiful. But never make the other person your symbol for love. If you understand what I mean by symbol, it's just basically that everything that you see around you in this external world is basically just a symbol. If you think about it in your mind, it's a symbol that has certain associations with it. You think about different experiences, you think about different other symbols that have different meanings, and all these things are just symbols that give you a good feeling. Like if you want a certain car, for instance, and you have and it's that car is a symbol for you, a symbol for happiness maybe. And when you get that car, you might feel happy, but the reason you feel happy is not because of the car. The reason you feel happy is because you have associated that symbol of the car with a feeling of happiness inside. And you are the one who is generating the feeling of happiness when you see the symbol of the car. The same goes for love. If you think that you need to be with a certain person in a certain relationship, and for instance, you have that relationship right now, or you have that person in your life right now, then you will allow yourself to feel that feeling of love. But you understand that it's not because of the person. It's not because of the relationship. It's because of you who has determined that when these things are present in my life, when these symbols are there in my life, then I can feel the feeling of love. So I don't want to de-romanticize relationships, and I'm believe me, I'm still a hopeless romantic myself. But remember these things, that it's often not really about the people or the stories or all these things. It's that you decided for yourself. You gave yourself a bunch of rules that allowed you to feel feelings like happiness, like joy, like love. But these things are things that you feel yourself, and it's just rules in your mind. So it's so important to love yourself. It's so important to make yourself the symbol for love. And you do that by, really treating yourself as your lover. You treat yourself as your lover. And for instance, like if someone you really loved or someone you really looked up to was visiting you for a couple of days, right? They flew over with a plane, and like, what would you do for them? Would you take them out? Would you go to your favorite places and show them these amazing places? Would you make them a bath? Would you make them dinner? Would you give them a present? All these things. Would you do these things for that person? If so, then when is the last time you did that for yourself? When is the last time you treated yourself as if you were that person you look up to, as if you were that person that you are deeply, deeply in love with? And this is, I think, one of the things you can ask yourself, and maybe, like play with that in your life. Like, how would I treat myself if I really love myself? And if you ask that question, then maybe you could start doing these things for yourself. And maybe the next time you feel like you've done something wrong, you don't curse at yourself, or you don't blame yourself for something, and you are compassionate with yourself instead of having really negative self-talk where you call yourself an idiot, or you call yourself fat, or you call yourself whatever kind of negative thing you can think of. Instead of doing that, maybe you can start treating yourself like you really love yourself, like how you would treat somebody else that you really loved. I know I'm rambling. I just wanted to share my unfiltered thoughts on this. And just a little bit more about losing someone and the people that I talk with who are dealing with this issue. Like, if you've lost someone that you've loved, then really remind yourself that now is the best time for you to start loving yourself more. You're still here, you're still breathing, so there's still a reason for you to do something on this planet and to, start with yourself, start valuing yourself, and raise your standards for what you accept and don't accept in your life. Because when you raise your standards, you basically tell the universe, this is what I'm worth. And you are worth a lot because you are part of everything. You are alive and you have just as much right to be alive as anyone else. So you're always enough. You're always fulfilled. You come from this place of love. And once you actually remember that, or get a glimpse of that, or just start to a little bit believe in that, then you're on the right track, and you will get there. And I'm speaking from experience for myself. I've been on this long journey now, and I'm finally seeing some of these things in my own life, and I'm starting to love myself more and more. And it feels really good. Of course, I have moments where I feel doubt, where I need someone to love me, where I feel like I need someone in my life, and things like that. But then I constantly remember myself that I don't need to have something. I don't need these things because I am already fulfilled. I already know where I come from. I already know what I'm a part of, and you are that as well. So it's not an ego thing. It's what we all are, but we need to recognize this for ourselves. And we do this by loving ourselves more, by actually caring about ourselves. And by seeing that you don't really need the other people, but you can give from this place an abundance to other people. And you can have amazing relationships with people and amazing connections. But don't desperately seek for love. Don't desperately need love, because it's never gonna work. Because if you keep doing that, you seeking for it outside of yourself. But the only place that love can truly come from is from inside. You are the one who generates these feelings of love, and you are basically pure love. So it's insane to actually seek love outside. So you can, of course, want to be with a partner, but what place does it come from? Does it come from a place of you not feeling enough by yourself? Does it come from a place of you needing something outside of you? I want something, I need something. Whether it's love or sex or connection. Of course, we are humans and we crave for connection. I do as well. But try to remember that you are already part of everything. You're already connected to everything and everybody. So you're already love and you don't need to seek it outside. Anyway, those were my thoughts for today. I hope you got some value from my rambling on this subject, and I'll see you next time.